What is up, tube users? I'm the Stereotypical Gamer, and welcome back to another fantastically fun games for under $15. Today we are taking a look at the Talos Principle 2. This is a game I picked up recently after getting recommended it by a family member who I had no idea played games at all. I never took them for a gamer of any sorts, but they have played over 400 hours of this game, and they literally bought a Steam Deck just to play this game on the road and stuff like that. And so just kind of going off that, I had to try it out and see what it's all about. And it is just gorgeous looking, first of all, and it runs super smoothly. But it was a lot more than what I expected. I expected this to be primarily a puzzle game, and it is mainly a puzzle game, but there's so much story elements, there's a lot of exploration and stuff to go uncover, and a lot of just kind of lore and stuff embedded in this game. I was kind of thinking like along the lines of like Portal 1, of like no real storytelling or anything, and just a lot of really fun puzzles, but this game is so much more than that. And I think the puzzling aspect in this game is just top notch. It's kind of one of those games where you kind of think about the puzzles. It's definitely not a game that you want to just like go and watch a guide through, because you'll just kind of get the answers to everything. You really should just try it out for yourself. This is just the tutorial part, kind of giving you the basics of how puzzles will work, so I don't think it's really spoiling anything. But it is a game that, like, you just have to really kind of think about how to solve these different puzzles. And I get that aha moment a lot in this game, that, like, I finally figure out how to do it. And it's just such a satisfying feeling figuring out the answers to these different puzzles. But I would definitely say my favorite part of this game is the overall look and design of things. Like, I really haven't gotten too far into this game because I've literally just been going around exploring these different areas. I've barely gotten off the first part of the island just because I've been exploring, talking to everyone, and getting the lore and stuff. And the story is alright, and how they incorporate the puzzles into the story is kind of meh. But overall, I do really just love the design and look of everything. The lighting in this game is phenomenal. I mean, it just looks top notch, and it's just so beautiful to explore the different places. There's not a whole lot. I wouldn't consider this game like an open world, but it does have a pretty large feel, and there are like different secrets and stuff you can explore, so I really do enjoy that. And it's kind of interesting because this is like the first part of the game, and I kind of thought the game was just going to play along like this, where it's just going to be a bunch of different puzzles to unlock into different areas and stuff like that, and it's really guided and stuff like that. But once you get out of here, it is definitely an open world, and there's a whole lot of story and just different characters and stuff that you can talk to and just interact with, and it just really has a more open field than I was expecting, and I really enjoy that. And while I'm not a huge fan of the kind of story overall, it definitely has a lot of Christianity, Old Testament kind of themes to it, and not really a religious person, but it does have an interesting feel. They do kind of take it and put a kind of modernized feel, if that's the way. And I do like that there is like different choices of things, and they have different outcomes depending on what you choose. One of my favorite ones is early on in the game, you are told about this like island that's giving off these mysterious readings, and you were told to go like investigate it, but you could choose just not to investigate it, and the game just ends right there. So it is kind of funny. They do have some good comedy in this game. I think that overall it's really a well-written game. Some of the characters are a little bit bland, but overall I do kind of find it intriguing, even though it's not like my kind of taste for a story overall. But I would say the main part of this game is the puzzling aspects, and I love the just kind of different approaches to puzzles. There's just basically this tutorial thing shows you the different equipment and stuff that you'll use throughout the puzzles in the game, and they're pretty basic on what they do and stuff, but the game does a really good job of making each puzzle feel completely unique and how to tackle and approach each puzzle. Like, I don't think I've gotten this much satisfaction from solving a single puzzle since like Portal 1, because I typically, playing puzzle games, I don't like to look at guides and stuff because they just kind of give you the answer, and I really want to try and solve everything myself. And there's definitely some tough puzzles once you get later on in the game, but once you get a feel for how everything works and how you're supposed to tackle different puzzles with the kind of tools that you're given, you kind of get a rhythm for things, and just that aha moment of figuring out the answer to a puzzle is so satisfying in this game, and it really, I haven't felt replicated in like any other puzzle game since Portal. But enough about the good, let's get into some of the bad aspects of this game. And one of the things that I found frustrating early on, and I guess there is a way to reset puzzles once you get into the actual game itself, but I haven't been able to figure out how to do that. But there is times when you can soft lock yourself out of a puzzle, and I've done it a couple of times, and it's kind of frustrating just having to go back to a previous save point and go through a puzzle that I just done and didn't save to the next puzzle, and then just trying to figure that out. So that can get kind of frustrating at sometimes. And then some of the connector puzzles just kind of feel weird. These things, I guess I'm just calling them connectors, where you just basically connect these lines, and in later puzzles you'll have to try and get different colors. You only have like red, blue, and green connectors, but you'll have to like mix and match them in order to get them to unlock different areas. And the way the game goes about doing that just kind of feels wonky, and compared to how you do it in like this tutorial part, it's just completely different, and it kind of just throws me off on how I'm supposed to tackle some of these different puzzles by like just changing up the colors and matching them to the right connectors. And it's not really necessarily a bad thing about this game, but I do love the movement system. I mean, it's only just a sprint and jump, but the movement in this game feels really smooth, and I wish there was like just more like jump puzzles and parkour stuff, just because I love the movement. It's probably one of my favorite just overall feels of movement in a game. And again, this isn't a downside to the game, but it is just such a gorgeous looking game, and the play spaces overall are just so well designed. I wish this was more of an open world game, because I love the just overall look. I've spent way too much time just going around and exploring, and there's not a whole lot of things to explore, but it is just so breathtakingly beautiful that I just have to go and explore everything, and I just wish there was more to explore. But yeah, I mean, this game is a lot of fun. I feel like if you enjoy puzzle games like Portal and stuff like that, it definitely has a really good puzzle feel that it definitely has a lot of challenges. Each puzzle feels completely unique in how you approach it and tackle it, even if you are using the kind of same equipment for a lot of these different puzzles. Each of them feels totally unique in how to solve them. And for the price point that this game is at right now, I believe it's on sale for $15, which just kind of hits that mark. It really has a AAA kind of feel to it, and just kind of getting it at that price is just an absolute steal in my mind. The overall texture quality of this game, and especially how smooth it runs with how just high quality the textures are, is just phenomenal, and it's just a whole lot of fun with the different puzzles. They really did take a lot of time and put a lot of effort into how the puzzles work, and it is just so fun having just each puzzle feel unique and having it take time to just try and figure out and solve. And once you finally solve it, it just has such a satisfying feeling that not a lot of puzzle games can replicate. Like, there's been a couple of puzzle games that I've played recently where it's just like, oh, okay, I get this, and it's like, it's just kind of part of the mechanics. But once you get a feel for how this game plays and how to solve different puzzles, it really is a lot of fun. That being said, though, it is pretty challenging, like in comparison to Portal is probably the best example of like a similar puzzle game, even though these games play completely differently. But just the kind of difficulty of some of these puzzles can be a little bit frustrating at times, but once you get the feel for things, it definitely becomes easier over time, and I really do just enjoy the overall like feel of each puzzle that is in this game. But yeah, if you do plan on picking this game up, I would highly recommend just not watching any sort of gameplay things on this, because it is just them solving the puzzles, and you kind of just lose that whole kind of feel of solving it for yourself. I mean, obviously if you get stuck on puzzles, you can go look up a guide, but I really do feel like if you can beat the tutorial without any help, you can get through the entire game, and it is just so satisfying. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.